Mark Lifman was a complex figure, a man whose life was shrouded in mystery and contradiction. He was known as Cape Town's Gentleman Gangster, a title that captured the duality of his existence. His life was a blend of legitimate business and alleged criminal activity, a delicate balance that he maintained with remarkable skill. He was a prominent figure in the city's underworld, a man who commanded both fear and respect. His sudden death in 2024 shocked many, leaving a void in the criminal landscape that has yet to be filled. It left a void in the criminal landscape, a gap that many have tried to fill, but none have succeeded. Lifman's story is one of ambition and intrigue, a tale that continues to captivate those who hear it. It's a tale of a man who navigated both the boardroom and the back alleys, a man who was as comfortable in a suit as he was in the shadows. His life was filled with contradictions, a series of paradoxes that made him both fascinating and enigmatic. He was both feared and respected, a man who could inspire loyalty and terror in equal measure. He was both charming and ruthless, a combination that made him a formidable figure in both business and crime. Understanding Lifman requires delving into his past, exploring the roots of his ambition and the origins of his dual life. We must explore his upbringing and his rise in the business world, a journey that was as complex as the man himself. We must also examine his alleged criminal connections, the shadowy network that he was said to control. Only then can we grasp the full scope of his influence, an influence that extended far beyond the borders of Cape Town. Lifman's story is a microcosm of Cape Town's underworld, a reflection of the city's own struggles with crime and corruption. It sheds light on the complex relationship between business and crime, a relationship that is often hidden from view. It reveals the blurred lines between legality and illegality, a gray area that Lifman navigated with ease. It is a story that continues to fascinate and intrigue, a tale that will be told and retold for years to come. Mark Lifman was born and raised in Cape Town, South Africa. He came from a traditional Jewish family. He grew up in the affluent suburbs of Rondebosch and Bantry Bay. His upbringing was seemingly ordinary. Lifman attended Sea Point Boys High School. He was active in sports, he showed early signs of leadership and ambition, he was driven to succeed. He wanted to make a name for himself. His father, Jeffrey, was a businessman. This likely influenced Lifman's own entrepreneurial aspirations. He learned the value of hard work and determination. He also learned the importance of networking. Despite his later involvement in the underworld, Lifman's early life provided a foundation of stability. It gave him a sense of belonging, it shaped his worldview. It also instilled in him a desire for more. Lifman's entrepreneurial journey began modestly. He started by making sweets in his mother's kitchen. This early venture demonstrated his resourcefulness. It also showed his willingness to take risks. He gradually expanded his business interests. He ventured into various fields. These included fashion, taxis, property, and nightclubs. He also invested in horse racing and private security. He became a diversified businessman. Lifman's real estate investments were particularly noteworthy. He acquired properties in upscale areas like Fresnay and Fancourt in George. These acquisitions demonstrated his financial acumen. They also solidified his status as a successful entrepreneur. Lifman's business dealings were not without controversy. He was accused of using his businesses as fronts for criminal activities. However, he always maintained his innocence. He insisted that he was a legitimate businessman. Section 4. The Underworld Figure, a Web of Influence. Despite his business successes, Lifman was increasingly linked to Cape Town's underworld. He was accused of involvement in protection rackets, money laundering, and tax evasion. He became a figure of both fascination and fear. Lifman's name frequently appeared in court documents. He was implicated in various criminal cases. He was often portrayed as a powerful underworld figure. He was someone who could pull strings and influence outcomes. Lifman's polished appearance and well-guarded presence added to his mystique. He cultivated an image of power and sophistication. He was often seen in expensive suits and surrounded by bodyguards. He projected an aura of invincibility. Lifman's alleged criminal activities brought him notoriety. He became a subject of numerous books and articles about South African crime. He was often referred to as Cape Town's Gentleman Gangster. This nickname captured the duality of his persona. Section 5. The Landman Connection and PPA Security, a Tangled Alliance. Lifman's alleged connections to Alwyn Landman and PPA Security further complicated his story. These connections were not just business-related but hinted at deeper, more sinister ties. Landman was the CEO of Professional Protection Alternatives, or PPA, a company that prided itself on providing top-notch security services. Lifman claimed to have attempted to start a security company with Landman. However, Landman denied any association, stating that their interactions were minimal and purely professional. The alleged link between Lifman, the suspects in his murder, and PPA Security raised questions. It suggested that there might be more to the story than what was initially apparent. It suggested a possible connection between his business dealings and his demise. The financial entanglements and the nature of their business dealings were under intense scrutiny. It also highlighted the potential for corruption within the security industry. The lines between legitimate security operations and illicit activities seemed increasingly blurred. 2 suspects arrested for Lifman's murder had ties to policing and PPA Security. This connection was alarming and raised red flags about the integrity of those involved. This raised concerns about the infiltration of criminal elements within law enforcement. The possibility that those sworn to protect were involved in criminal activities was deeply troubling. It also fueled speculation about the motives behind Lifman's killing. Was it a business deal gone wrong, or something more personal? The Landman connection added another layer of intrigue to Lifman's story. It painted a picture of a complex web of relationships and hidden agendas. It further blurred the lines between legitimate business and criminal activity. The clandestine nature of their dealings suggested a world where trust was scarce and betrayal was common. It also raised questions about the extent of Lifman's influence within Cape Town's underworld. How deep did his connections run, and who else was involved in this Tangled Alliance? Section 6. Assassination and Speculation. A Sudden End. Mark Lifman was gunned down outside a shopping mall in George on November 3, 2024. The incident shocked the community and sent ripples through the media. His death was unexpected and brutal, leaving many to wonder about the motive behind such a violent act. He was alone at the time, which was unusual given his usual security detail. This raised immediate questions about why he was unprotected that night. The circumstances surrounding his death were suspicious. Was it a random act of violence or something more sinister? Lifman was out on bail for the 2017 murder of Brian Weinstein, known as the Steroid King. This connection added a dark twist to the narrative. This added another layer of complexity to his death. Investigators had to consider multiple angles and potential motives. It raised questions about whether his murder was related to this ongoing case. Was someone trying to silence him, or was it a vendetta? It also fueled speculation about revenge killings. The underworld connections and past grudges made the case even murkier. 2 men, Johannes Hendrik Jacobs and Gert Johannes Bezuidenhout, were arrested shortly after Lifman's murder. Their involvement brought some clarity but also deepened the mystery. Their arrests provided some answers but also raised more questions. What was their motive, and who else might be involved? The investigation into Lifman's death is ongoing. Detectives are piecing together clues, but the puzzle remains incomplete. The speculation surrounding Lifman's death continues. The media frenzy has only added to the public's curiosity and concern. Some believe his death was a targeted hit, orchestrated by powerful enemies. Others suspect a more complex conspiracy involving multiple players. The truth may never be fully known. As the investigation unfolds, the mystery of Mark Lifman's sudden end remains a topic of intense debate and speculation. Section 7. Legacy and Impact, a Lasting Shadow. Mark Lifman's death marked the end of an era in Cape Town's underworld. His life and death continue to fascinate and intrigue. He remains a controversial figure. His legacy is complex and multifaceted. Lifman's story highlights the blurred lines between business and crime. It reveals the intricate web of relationships and alliances that exist within the underworld. It also underscores the challenges of combating organized crime. Lifman's death may not lead to significant inter-gang violence as some predicted. However, it has undoubtedly left a void. His influence and connections will be difficult to replace. Lifman's legacy is a reminder of the enduring power of the underworld. It is a testament to the complex and often dangerous world of organized crime. It is a story that continues to resonate in Cape Town and beyond.